The alien training center was silent. Dozens of species stood around the observation window, staring into the giant chamber below. This was the gravity room. And today, something strange was happening. A human was walking in. He won't last. 5 seconds, whispered a blue-scaled Zarn officer. He's made of soft bones, said a four-eyed direct soldier. The alien commander, General Zern, raised his hand. Let's see if Earthlings can survive like they brag. In the center of the room, the human stood tall. His name was Jace Ward, age 23, born on Earth. He wore the standard trainee suit gray, tight-fitting with a chest badge that simply said human in bold letters. He looked up at the glass window where all the aliens were watching him, and then he smiled. Is this it? He asked. Feels light to me. General Zern narrowed his eyes. Activate the gravity. Level 1. Begin. A deep hum filled the chamber. The walls glowed dim blue. Machines under the floor rolled. The gravity started to increase. Earth's gravity was already strong compared to many alien moons. But the aliens had designed this room to go 10 times beyond Earth's gravity. Level 1 was set to 3x Earth's gravity. Many aliens had failed this. Level, bones cracked. Blood vessels burst. Muscles collapsed. But not for Jace. He stood calm, stretched his arms, cracked his neck. It was like a normal workout back home, he said. The officers began to move. Monitors showed his heartbeat, steady, controlled. His muscles, slightly tense but stable. Level 2, Zern said. Gravity. 4x Earth. Even the metal bolts on the chamber walls began to groan. Aliens who had once called humans weak started to lean closer. Inside the room, Big Ice took a single step forward. His legs fought the pressure, but he didn't fall. His arms hung freely. Sweat started to form, but he grinned through it. You all okay up there? He asked the aliens behind the glass. You look tense. The training staff looked nervous. One of them leaned to the general, sir. We should stop the test. No, Zern growled. This human thinks he is better than us. Let's show him what real gravity feels like. He slammed his fist on the control pad. Level 3. Gravity. 5x Earth alarms rang. The chamber VIBR. 8TED. Dot. Inside. Jace dropped to one knee, but only for a second. He pushed back up. His face strained now, but not in pain. In focus, his heart rate rose. His legs shook, but he stood. He didn't fall. He didn't beg. Screamed, he smiled. Insane, said a young cadet, watching from the back. No species survives level 3 this long, another added. A scientist ran into the room with a tablet. General, this human's muscle fibers. They are adapting in real time. His body is learning the gravity. Possible, Zern snapped. But the data didn't lie. Inside the chamber, Jace looked up and gave a thumbs up. Then he mouthed 2 words. More, please. Flashback, Earth 2 years ago. Dusty training ground in the Rocky Mountains. Snow on the peaks. Heat in the air. Jace ran uphill with a 200-kilogram sled tied to his back. His coach, an old war veteran, watched with a cigar in hand. Gravity is your enemy, the coach said, but also your tool. If you train with pain, gravity becomes your servant. Jace didn't reply. He just pulled harder. Back in the alien chamber, Jace remembered those words. He clenched his fists and shouted, "Let's go." Is that all you've got? General Zern couldn't believe it. The human wasn't just surviving, he was thriving. Prepare for level 4, he ordered. Let's break his arrogance. Gravity. 6x Earthaven. The walls bent now. The floor panels sparked. Metal plates began to crack. Inside, Jace took one deep breath and started doing push-dash-ups. 1, 2, 3, is he training? An alien asked. The room behind the glass exploded into noise. Some aliens cheered. Others panicked. He's not a soldier, Zern whispered. He's a weapon. Suddenly alarms went red. System overload. Gravity limit near. The chamber's computer tried to shut down the gravity levels. But Jace had already completed 20 push-dash-ups. He stood up, barely sweating, and said, "Let me know when you want to get serious." The system dropped gravity back to normal to prevent a full meltdown. The door opened. Jace walked out slowly. Muscles sore, joints tight, but his head held high. The hallway was full of alien cadets watching silently. Some moved aside as he passed. One alien whispered, "He's not like the others." Jace smiled and said, "Nope, I'm from Earth." Back in the command room, General Zern stared at the screen. He played the footage back in slow motion. The human's spine bent like metal wire, under 6x gravity. Then it recovered. "What is his real limit?" he asked quietly. A scientist replied, "We don't know. But if Earth has more like him..." Zern's eyes narrowed. "Then we may have trained our conquerors. Next time, his bones should have broken, but he just kept smiling." The medical team rushed toward Jace as he walked out of the gravity chamber. They held stretchers, injection guns, and scanning tools. One of them shouted, "Don't move. Your muscles might collapse. You should be broken." But Jace just looked at them and said calmly, "You're late. I already finished my workout." The aliens didn't know how to respond. This was the moment when even the strongest trainees cried out in pain. Bones usually cracked, lungs collapsed. Eyes burst under the pressure of 6x gravity, but not this human. He was smiling inside the medical. Jace lay on a flat metal bed while scanning bots flew over his body. Screens showed real-time data, heart rate, muscle stress, bone structure. One alien doctor looked at the results and froze. "Impossible," she said. "What is it?" asked Commander Zern. His bones didn't crack, not even tiny fractures. "It's like they were made for heavy gravity." Another screen blinked. His muscle tissue was glowing in bright colors. "His muscles. They adapted," she added. "He became stronger during the test." Zern frowned. "It's not natural." "What kind of human is this?" "He's not just strong," said the doctor. "He's changing fast." Elsewhere, alien cadet barracks news of the human's test spread like wildfire. Aliens of every kind sat together, watching the replay on their holoscreens. The video showed Jace walking calmly under 6x gravity, doing push-ups like it was Earth. "Gym class, he didn't even scream," said a four-armed cadet. "Is he enhanced?" asked a red-skinned Carrick warrior. "No, it's just human," whispered another. Some laughed nervously. Some stayed silent. For the first time, the trainees were afraid. Not of war, but of the human beside them. Flashback. Earth 1 year. Earlier, Jace stood inside a chamber filled with metal bars and giant spinning weights. Earth's military scientists called it the Forge. It was a place to test gravity's strength, illegal in many countries. His coach stared through the glass. "Most soldiers last 1 minute in there." Jace nodded. "I'll give you 10. He lasted 20. Back in the present, Alien Strategy Room Commander Zern slammed a fist on the table. "He's not just lucky, he was trained for this." Other officers agreed. "Earth knew about our gravity tests," one said. "They prepared him." Zern stood silent for a moment, then gave a command. "Next test. We break him. Publicly." "How?" One alien whispered, "That room breaks the mind. The silent room. No gravity. No sound. No escape." The next day, Jace stood in front of a silver door. No lights. No noise. The hallway was dead silent. 2 tall guards stood beside the chamber. One spoke in a cold voice. "Inside this room, sound dies. Your voice won't come back out. You'll hear nothing, not even your own breath." Jace smirked. "So like my dad's parenting style." The guards didn't laugh. They opened the door. He stepped in. Inside the silent room there was no gravity, no light, no sound, just floating space and total silence. Jace spun slowly, arms wide. His heartbeat echoed in his own head. He couldn't hear, but he felt it. Many aliens went mad in this room. No control, no direction, no sound. Just silence that stretched forever. But Jace, he started dancing. He flipped in midair, kicked off a wall, and did slow motion flips. Then he crossed his legs, closed his eyes, and started to meditate. Meanwhile, the observation room, A large crowd of alien officers watched from hidden screens. Zern stood in the front row. "Time check," he asked. "10 minutes, sir," said the technician. "Still stable? Any signs of panic?" The medic replied. "No, he's calm. His brainwaves are centered." "Center of what?" asked the doctor. Gulped. "Perfect calm." At 20 minutes, Jace was still meditating. At 30, he was asleep. Commander Zern snapped. "Wake him up. Add sound triggers." Flashlights. Shake the chamber, but nothing worked. Jace had gone into deep sleep in a room where aliens lost their minds. Zern stared at the screen. "This isn't a trainee," he whispered. "This is a message." Later, walking out when Jace finally walked out of the silent room, he stretched and yawned. "Best nap I've had since Earth," he said. The hallway was full of watchers, trainees, officers, even trainers. He looked around. What's next? A lava bath? No one replied. They were too stunned. That night, Alien Command Center. Top Council met in secret. "There's something wrong with this human," one said. "He's not normal." Commander Zern stood and looked at the stars above. "We tried to break him with gravity, with silence, with pressure." And Zern turned slowly. He just smiled and demanded more. "Next time." The silent room torture, but he laughed instead. The lights flickered above the command deck. Every alien officer stared at the screen. There, floating calmly in the middle of the silent room, was the human, not screaming, not crying, not clawing at his own head like others had done. He was laughing, and then he clapped, in total silence. General Zern growled. "How is he laughing? He can't even hear himself." The medic turned pale. "He's enjoying it, sir." "Impossible," Zern said. "No species enjoys the silent room. It breaks the brain. Even the Varrock beastlings went mad in 4 minutes." But Jace Ward had lasted 37 minutes. And now he was clapping like he was watching a show. Inside the silent room, there was no gravity, no sound, no voice, no time. Just darkness and slow drifting. But inside his own mind, Jace was far from afraid. He imagined Earth again, the crash of ocean waves, the loud wind in the desert, the crackling of fire. Then, to entertain himself, he began pretending the room was a stage. He moved like a mime. He boxed with invisible enemies. He floated into a cross-legged pose and whispered to himself, "Float like a feather. Punch like gravity." Flashback. Earth's secret training done 1 year earlier. Jace stood inside a sealed tank. No gravity, no light. Scientists observed him. His brainwaves stayed calm. Even when others lost control, his Earth instructor, Captain Voss, nodded with pride. "This boy," said, "was born for the stars. Let the aliens try. He'll smile through every test." Back in the present silent room, minute 58, finally. The computer triggered a soft beep. 1 hour complete. System shut down. The walls lit up. Gravity returned slowly. The door unlocked. With a hiss, the aliens watching expected to see Jace crawling out, weak and broken. But he floated to the exit, landed softly on his feet, and gave a salute. "Time's up?" he asked. "Already?" Outside the chamber, cadets lined the hall again. Many now kept their heads down. Some looked with awe, others with fear. One young alien whispered, "He's not human. He's something else." Another muttered, "If he joins the front lines, we're finished." Jace passed them all like they weren't there, but his ears caught. Everything inside the command room, Zern's hands trembled as he poured a drink. He didn't just survive the torture, he performed. The science officer nodded. His mind is too flexible, too prepared. He's trained to enjoy pain. Zern slammed his glass down. This is not just Earth's experiment. This is Earth's message. He turned to the room. "Send word. Test 3 begins now." Test 3, the Beast Trainee, large circular pit, stood in the center of the alien training grounds. Metal walls lined with claw marks, bloodstains on the stone floor above. Hundreds of alien cadets sat on benches looking down. The crowd cheered. This was a real test. not machines. Not silence. A beast would face the human. One that had never been defeated. The beast stepped into the arena. It was massive, 9 feet tall, armor-plated, eyes glowing red, forearms breathing smoke. The alien. Announcer's voice rang out. The undefeated war beast of Kargan Prime. Against the Earth trainee, Jace stepped forward. No armor, no weapon. Just his usual trainee suit, and his grin. The crowd grew silent. Does he want to die? Asked one officer. He doesn't know what that thing can do, said another Zern. Watched from a high platform. This will end it. Finally, the beast roared. Dust flew. Jace cracked his knuckles and said softly, "Do I get gloves? Or is this bare knuckle day?" The fight begins. The beast charged. Fast, heavy, brutal. Jace dodged left, rolled forward, slid under its legs. The aliens gasped. He moved differently, with brute force, but with perfect timing. The beast smashed a wall. Jace jumped onto its back, grabbed a loose scale, and held on. The creature bucked, roared, spun, but Jace stayed on. Then he jumped off, landed clean, and raised his fists. "Come on, big guy." The creature roared again and charged, but this time, Jace used the beast's weight against it. He ducked, tripped it with a sliding leg move, and sent it crashing face first into the ground. Silence then. The beast began to rise and bowed, head low. One paw forward. It had never done that before. The arena erupted daily and stood up. Some clapped. Some stared in fear. Zern stood frozen. He didn't defeat it, someone said. He tamed it. Jace turned, waved to the crowd, and left the arena like a champion. The beast stayed bowed. Later that night, Jace's room. Jace stood by the window, looking at the alien sky. He whispered to himself, "Not bad for day 3. On his table lay a data pad with a message from Earth. Well done. Phase 1 complete. Proceed as planned. Next time the challenge from a beast and what he did without a weapon." The crowd was still talking about the last fight. A human with no weapon, no armor, had entered the beast arena and walked out smiling. But what happened next, no one expected. The same war beast that bowed to Jace. It now refused to obey anyone else, and worse. It chose JACE. Opening scene training grounds. Midnight. The guards were confused. The war beast stood outside the human barracks, silent and unmoving. Its glowing red eyes stared straight at the door. No one dared stop it. Aliens whispered in the dark, "Why is it here? It doesn't follow orders anymore. It only listens to him." Inside, Jace sat on his bed, calmly eating protein bars. He heard the noise. He knew what was happening. He stood, walked outside, and looked up at the huge creature. The beast growled low, and then knelt. Jack reached out slowly and touched its head. "Well," he said, "looks like I have a new gym partner." Morning meeting. Alien strategy. Room General Zern was furious. "Lock that beast away? It's a weapon, not a pet." "But sir," said the beast handler, "it won't move. It only follows the human now." Zern's eyes narrowed. "Then, let's use that." He hit a button on the table. Screen showed a map, a red zone deep in the training planet's wild zone. "There's a nest of rogue machines here. Old warbets, still active. No team has survived more than 5 minutes." The room went quiet. "We'll send him there," Zern said. "Him." And the beast. Next scene, the dropship. Jace stood inside the ship, arms crossed. The beast sat beside him, quiet like a trained dog. An alien tech handed Jace a small pistol. "You'll need this." Jace handed it back. "I've got something better." He patted the beast's armored shoulder. The red zone, wild territory. Old war machines crawled the land. Rusted tanks, half-buried walkers, drones with broken wings. Sensors still worked. They hated organics. JAC and the beast stepped into the zone. Within seconds, the ground shook. The sky filled with red eyes. The machines were awake. A rusted walker aimed a cannon. Jace ducked. The beast charged forward, smashing it to pieces with a roar. 2 drones dove from above. Jace leaped, grabbed one midair, and slammed it into the other. A missile flew toward him. The beast jumped, caught it in its jaws, and crushed it for 10 straight minutes. They fought like a team that had trained for years, but they had met only yesterday. Jace moved like he knew what the beast would do, and the beast followed his lead without hesitation. Back at Commanda, officers watched the live feed in shock. "No human fights like this," one said. "He doesn't need weapons," another whispered. "He is one." Zern stared silently. His plan had backfired. He tried to destroy the human. Instead, it just made him a legend. Twist ending after the mission. Jace returned, covered in dust and machine oil. Not a single scratch on him. The beast followed quietly behind, dragging 2 broken warbot heads like trophies. The entire base was silent as they walked. Through no one cheered, no one mocked. They just watched. In fear and respect, Jace looked up at the alien flag above the base and said calmly, "So, ...
What's the next test?"
Next time, gravity betrayal." But he was ready for it. The lights in Jace's room flickered. He sat up in bed. The air felt heavier. Not normal heavy, crushing heavy. He reached for the wall, missed, and dropped to one knee. The gravity was rising. No alarm, no warning. Someone was trying to kill him. Seen, the sabotage begins. A shadow moved through the command deck. A technician adjusted the gravity settings in secret. He wore a stolen officer's uniform. His hands moved quickly over the console. "Target, human trainee," he whispered. "Overload chamber gravity. Silent mode. Begin acceleration." Back in his room, Jace clenched his fists. The gravity felt like 4x Earth now. And still rising, his bed cracked, his shelf collapsed. The lights sparked. No announcement. No red alert. Only pressure. Only silence. He knew what this was. This wasn't a test. It was betrayal. Flashback. Earth final training lesson, remember? "This," Captain Voss had said, standing in the dark control room back on Earth. "If they can't beat you in the open, they'll try in secret. Gravity, poison, traps, doesn't matter. Expect betrayal. Train for it." Jace nodded once. So they did. In secret labs under Earth's surface. He had trained in silent pressure chambers, where gravity increased without warning. He trained to stay conscious, to breathe through it, to fight back blind, back to the present. Jace on the floor of the room was now at 6x gravity. His legs trembled, but he grinned. "You think I didn't see this coming?" He crawled to his locker. Inside a suit, not armor. Just weighted fabric lined with resistance pads. He pulled it on slowly. Each move burned his muscles. Every breath was a war. But step by step, stood up. 7x gravity. The screen on the wall flickered. Tried to show a warning, then went black. Jace reached the panel beside the door. It wouldn't open. He braced, took a deep breath and punched the wall. Not once, not twice. At times, cracks appeared. Outside, the guards ran toward the room. They saw the flickering power, the gravity reading blinking red. Suddenly, boom. The door blew outward. Metal flew across the hallway. Smoke spilled out, and there stood Jace, shaking, bleeding, slightly still standing. He walked out slowly. One word escaped his mouth. "Nice try." Scene. Command room chaos alarms finally started to ring. Officers rushed to the control board. Someone had locked out the system. The traitor technician was gone. Vanished. Zern stared at the readings. "You pushed him to 7.5x gravity and he survived." The science officer shook his head. "Not just survived. He fought through it." Suddenly the screen changed. A message appeared, typed in English. "If this was your best plan, you need better enemies." Zern's hands turned to fists. "This human is dangerous. If he stays, he'll turn this academy into Earth's new army." Later, the beast's reaction that night. The war beast howled under the moon. Loud, powerful, strange. The aliens had never heard it howl like that before. In his room, Jace sat beside it, one hand resting on its head. He knew it too, Jace whispered. Someone wants me gone. The beast lowered its head, then stood up, as if waiting for orders. Twist ending. Jace's choice the next morning. Jace walked into the training hall. Every eye was on him. The traitor still hadn't been caught. But Jace said nothing about it. He just stood on the mat, stretched, and said, "All right. Who's training with me today?" Silence. Then a single alien cadet, the one who once called him weak, stepped forward. "I will," the alien said, and bowed. Next time, they tried. Zero gravity next, and he turned it into a dance. The lab was quiet. Too quiet. A single alien scientist stared at the screen. Her hands were shaking. She had just unlocked the full performance logs of the human Jace Ward heart rate. Muscle stress, brain activity, bone pressure, reflex speeds. She read the numbers again and again, and then she whispered. He was holding back the entire time. Scene, Alien Medical Lab DR. Sella, a four-armed, green-scaled medic, reviewed the files alone. Each test Jace had faced, the gravity chamber, the silent room, zero-G combat, all had detailed readings. But now she noticed something terrifying. His vitals never reached.
Maximum strain.
Not once. Even under 7.5x gravity. Jace's muscles had only used 70% of their full capacity. In the zero-G fight, his reflexes had been slowed. On purpose, he wasn't pushing himself, she said. He was testing us. Seen command room. Urgent meeting. She ran into the room. "Stop everything," she yelled. "I have proof." He was never in danger. He was never even tired. General Zern stared at her. "What do you mean?" Sella threw the data on the screen. The room went silent. All the alien commanders saw the truth. Flashback replays, they watched the clips again, this time with new overlays. During the 6x gravity push-ups, Jace's heart rate was below standard. Stress level. In the beast arena, his adrenaline never spiked, even when dodging claws. In the silent room, his brainwaves showed calm focus, not survival panic. One alien commander leaned back. He was playing us. Zern's fists clenched. "We made a mistake. We let a predator into our academy." Meanwhile, alien cadets. Whisper all around the base. Word spread fast. "Did you hear?" He was never serious. He could have destroyed us at any time. The fear was spreading. Some aliens now refused to train beside Jace. Others followed him, curious, even respectful. A young cadet named Vano approached him in the hallway. "You were never weak," Vano said. Jace smiled. Earth never was. Scene. Training arena solo trial. Jace stood alone on the field. A new test was prepared. A moving gravity platform. Blazers, spinning blades, drones. No one had ever finished it. But Jace didn't look nervous. He looked excited. The instructor activated the trial. The field came alive, deadly and fast, in seconds. Jace was moving. He dodged 3 lasers, flipped under a blade, kicked off a wall into a drone spin, and launched himself across platforms. He wasn't just surviving. He was dancing through danger. Aliens in the audience froze. Some stared with wide eyes. Some dropped their drinks. Others whispered, "He's faster than our bots." He finished the course in 1 minute 12 seconds. The previous record? 6 minutes. Jace stood in the center, breathing evenly. No sweat. He looked up at the silent crowd and said just 3 words. "Not bad, right, Commander Zerns?" Breaking point back. In the command room, Zern finally spoke. "I don't care how strong he is. I want him out." "But sir," another officer said, "he passed every test. He's the top trainee in the galaxy." Zern turned. "I don't want him trained. I want him gone." Twist ending. Earth's final message that night. Jace received another coded message on his wristpad. "Final phase begins tomorrow. You are cleared to use full strength. No more holding back." Jace looked out his window. Alien lights blinked. Across the training base, stars moved slowly across the sky. He stretched his arms and smiled. "To be honest, I was getting bored." The warbeast beside him growled softly, sensing something was coming. Next time, final part 8. The final gravity, 10x Earth. No one moved, except the human. The order was simple. Turn off gravity everywhere he goes. Floor to ceiling. No control. Let's see how long the human can spin before he breaks. But when the alien officers watched the cameras, they didn't see Jace screaming. They didn't see him floating in fear. They saw him dancing. Scene. The setup gravity shut down deep in the control center. Technicians entered silent commands. Zero gravity zones were activated. Training halls, corridors, stairwells, even Jace's own room. Commander Zern stood behind them, arms crossed. This time, we take away the one thing he trained for. Pressure. No gravity, no footing, said one officer. He won't last. Jace stepped out of his room that morning and took one step forward. He didn't touch the ground. He floated. His eyes narrowed, and then smiled. Flashback. Earth, the spin chamber back home. Jace had trained in a strange machine called the spin chamber. Inside, there was no gravity. No balance. Soldiers vomited within seconds. But not Jace. He had learned to twist, roll, flip, and strike in midair like it was second nature. He didn't just survive zero gravity. He owned it back in the present. Alien training halls. Jace floated through the hallway like a swimmer in space. Aliens around him panicked. Some flipped upside down. Others spun uncontrollably. He spun once in the air, did a backward somersault, and landed on a ceiling beam using just his fingertips. Fun new rule? He asked, grinning. No one answered. In the mess hall, trays and food floated everywhere. Jace flew through, grabbing a floating apple midair, took a bite, kept moving. He looked like a ghost, a controlled, smiling ghost. Alien Reactions. A group of alien cadets watched from a side hallway, stunned. Does he train in this? No one trains in zero gravity, except humans, maybe, others whispered. He doesn't walk anymore. He glides. Commander Zern watches the feed. He's mocking us, Zern growled. He zoomed in on the footage. Jace floated upside, down in front of a mirror, flexing his arms. Under the mirror, someone had scratched the words, "Gravity was your weapon."
How I fly?
Zern crushed his cup. Enough games. End it. Sudden threat. Zero-G combat drill. Zern issued a new command. Lock. Jace, in a zero-G combat cage, dropped 4 elite alien fighters in with him. No weapons. No gravity. No escape. Let's see if he laughs when fists fly, Zern said. Scene. The cage matched. The cage door opened. Jace floated in the center. Arms relaxed, breathing slow. 4 alien warriors launched in at once, spinning, kicking, punching. But Jace didn't run. He used their momentum against them. Every spin they made, he twisted around them. He grabbed one by the leg, spun him into another. The third came fast. Jayak caught the alien by the arm and kicked off his chest, slamming him into the wall. The fourth stopped mid-dash. Air terrified, he backed away. Jace floated in front of him, reached out and flicked his forehead gently. The alien fainted. Command room, silent though. Fight ended in 34 seconds. No one clapped. No one cheered. Zern's eyes twitched. He didn't just beat them, said he embarrassed them. Scene. After the matches, Jace floated back to the main deck. The gravity slowly turned back on. He landed on one foot, then the other, like a gymnast sticking a perfect landing. The crowd watched in silence. He turned, looked at the alien cadets and said, "You don't need gravity to stand tall." Twist-ending message from Earth. Later that night, Jace received a secret transmission on his wrist pad. A voice crackled through. "Earth Command here. You've passed all soft trials. Final test begins soon. Be ready." Nice. Nodded slowly. Was born ready. He turned to look at the war beast curled beside his bed. "Want to stretch tomorrow?" The beast growled happily. Next time, humans were never the weak ones. The data proves it. The floor shook. Alarms blared. Cadets grabbed onto walls, gasping as their bodies felt crushed by a pressure they'd never known. A robotic voice echoed across the station. "Warning, Gravity level, 10 times. All movement. Locked security. Mode active. Even the instructors fell to their knees. No one moved. No one, except Jace. Seen, an unfair test, Commander Zern stood behind the glass in the control room. His voice came over the intercom. This isn't training anymore. It's containment. It overridden the system, activating the highest gravity allowed by the Galactic Treaty. No species had ever trained. It's under 10x Earth gravity, not even the war beasts. Jace stood alone on the training floor. The others were trapped behind force fields watching. Zern's voice continued. You want to prove humans are strong? Then stand. The pressure was unbearable. The floor cracked beneath. Jace's boots, his body pressed downward like a mountain, had landed on his shoulders. His knees bent, his breath slowed, but his eyes, they stayed calm. Flashback. Earth's secret core training years. Ago, on Earth, Jace had trained in a lab called the Core Pit, a secret chamber that simulated 15x gravity. He had collapsed there. Broken bones. Blood from his nose, but he hadn't stopped. He had crawled. Crawled until he could walk. Walked until he could run. He had conquered the impossible. Back to the impressive 10x gravity. Everyone was waiting for him to fall, but Jace didn't. Fall, he rose. First one leg straightened, then the other. His hands pushed against the ground. His spine arched back into position, and then slowly, he stood. Crowd reaction, alien cadets gasped. Instructors watched, stunned. Even Dr. Sela, the scientist, whispered, "It's not gravity that bends, it's him." The war beast roared from its chamber, cheering with a deep growl. Jace didn't stop there. He took one step forward. The floor cracked. He took another and another, until he was standing under the viewing deck, staring straight at Zern. He raised a single finger and pointed right at him. Zern's breaking points, shouted, "Increase power." His technician replied, "There is no more. He's already passed the limit." Zern slammed his fist, then shut it down. All of it. End the training. Call Earth. I want him removed. Twist. Earth's arrival just then. Small ship entered orbit, sleek black, human dash made. It sent a simple message to the station. Training complete. Human operative, Jace Ward. Status, cleared for command. The force fields dropped. The gravity returned to normal. Jace walked calmly to the exit doors. Zern stared down. Frozen Sack looked up once more and said, "You thought Earth was weak? But Earth never sent its strongest." Final scene. Departure. The war beast joined him, walking proudly. Alien cadets stepped aside, nodding with respect. Jace didn't speak. He didn't need to. He had shown everything. With a smile, he entered the human ship. The doors closed, and the ship vanished into the stars. They tried to break the human with gravity. The gravity was never their weapon. It was ours. Galactic Archives, year 9374. This ends your 8-part HFY story. They tried to break the human trainee with gravity. He just smiled and demanded more. The Arc Mine ship didn't return to Earth. Instead, it moved deeper into space, toward the edge of the known galaxy. This was a place with no signals, no lights, no stars, just silence. Jace stood on the command deck, watching through the thick glass as the stars vanished behind them. He wasn't afraid. It passed every gravity test. It won the respect of alien generals. It survived wars. But this was different. This place was cold. It wasn't empty. It was waiting. Behind him, the war beast growled softly. Jace turned to the captain's seat. The Archmine's voice echoed inside the room. "We have arrived. This is the dead zone, once a battlefield of the First Galactic War." "Something is here," Jace said. "I can feel it." "Correct," the ship replied. "Earth left something behind." "What?" Jace asked. The ship gave a quiet answer. "A commander." Scene 1. The mission General Thorne's voice came through a secure channel from Earth. "Jace, this isn't a mission we wanted to activate, but now that you're ready, it's time." Ready for what? Jace asked. You were trained? To survive gravity? Because that's how Earth finds those who can lead. Lead what? The Forgotten Army? There was silence. Then the signal went dark. Scene 2. The old beacon Jace landed on a frozen asteroid. It looked like nothing lived here. But under the surface was a strange tower, black, smooth and still working. The war beast sniffed the air. The tower suddenly turned on. Lights glowing from the base upward. A mechanical voice spoke. Welcome. Earth Commander. Recognition complete. The door opened. Inside were rows of cryopods. At least 50 of them. All holding humans. All frozen. All wearing black armor. Marked with one symbol. Jace stepped closer. He wiped the frost off one pod. The nameplate read, Commander Cadet Reyes, status, in Stasis Project, Black Echo scene. 3. The truth of Earth's past. Jace moved deeper into the tower. In the center was a console. Played an old message, a recording from Earth. This is General Sloan. Earth year 2214. If you're seeing this, Earth has returned. This army was built in secret. Not for war, but for leadership. Each soldier here passed the gravity trials and more. Sent them ahead to prepare the galaxy for human return. But something went wrong. We lost contact. Any commander wakes. Do not let them out unless you are ready to lead, because they will follow no one but their equal. Scene for the challenge. As Jace watched the recording, one pod hissed. It opened slowly. A tall figure stepped. Out, pale, scarred, and angry, Commander Cadet Reyes. He looked at Jace. Who are you? Jace Ward, Earth sent me. You Draven laughed. You look like a recruit. I passed the gravity trials. Fought off 6 alien generals. I lead the Arcmind. Prove it. Draven threw a metal rod at Jace. It became heavier. Mid-air, gravity weapon, Draven said. Let's see if your training was real. Caught it, knelt under the pressure, then stood tall. Yo. I fought with 5x gravity pressing on my lungs. This is nothing, Draven nodded. Maybe you are ready. Ready for what? To wake the others. Scene 5, Earth's true plan. Jace and Draven walked through the tower. Why did Earth leave you here? Jace asked. To wait. Until someone strong enough came. Till a new commander arrived. Why? Because something is coming. Something worse than alien empires. Worse than war. They entered a chamber deep under the ground. It showed a map, not of planets, but of void zones. Places where ships disappeared, where stars collapsed. We called it the Hollow, Draven said. A darkness that eats systems. What does it want? Nothing. Just consumes. Then why me? Jace asked. 'Cause only humans ever escaped it. Scene 6. The awakening. Jace placed his hand on the control panel. The entire room shook. Pods began to light up. 50 commanders, 50 war-trained, leaders from Earth's lost past. The tower came alive. Screens blinked. Engines hummed. Die. Satellites above reactivated. Earth's ancient command force was waking up. The Arcmind's voice rang out. Warning. Awakening multiple command units will alert nearby sectors. Let them come, Draven, said. Jace nodded. We're not hiding anymore. Scene 7. Alien response across the galaxy. Sensors picked up the activation. Alien war councils panicked. Human command beacon reactivated. Commanders. You mean Earth made more? They're not soldiers. They're leaders. If they unite, the galaxy falls under their rule. One Zorkathi admiral growled. Then we destroy them now, before the rest wake. Ending twist. They're already awake as alien fleets move toward the asteroid. Another signal echoed across the stars. From a different system, another tower, another human, another commander. It's already awake, and this one wasn't friendly. Commander. Lyra, Black Echo, Unit 12. Awake and ready. She smiled coldly. Let's finish what we started. You broke the body with gravity, but you fed the spirit with fire. Jace's ship didn't head back to Earth. It went deeper, toward a dead zone in space, where communication was silent and empires feared to go. Inside sat something ancient, something lost, and it was waking up. But Earth had known it would. That's why they trained Jace, not to fight it, but to lead it. If you like this idea, I'll write Part 9 in full, 2,500-word, third-person, simple English script. It's just like the others. Would you like to continue the story with this new arc? Or do you want a different kind of Part 9, like a prequel, side story, or twist ending? Let me know, and I'll get started, he said. Part 10, ChatGPT said. Great. Since we're now expanding beyond the original 8-part arc, and you've asked for Part 10, I'll continue the new storyline where Earth's secret plan deepens, and Jace goes from trainee to something much greater. Here's the full script-style story for Part 10. The human didn't come to join the army, came to replace its style. Third person, simple, basic English, strong hook, suspenseful. 2,500 words summarized version here, full available. Upon request, hook 5 to 7 minutes scene. The abandoned sector was known as Dark Ring 7. A place even the war fleets refused to enter. Dead ships floated like skeletons in space. Faint signals echoed like whispers. No stars, no light. Jace stood at the center of it all, inside an ancient alien control room, something built millions of years ago. Beside him, his war beast growled low. His human ship's AI spoke calmly, warning, "You are now standing on a god weapon." History confirms this device destroyed 7 galaxies, awaiting activation code. Jace didn't flinch. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a small metal cube marked with the Earth emblem. The AI spoke again, confirming override. Human commander recognized, initiating Phase 2. Main story, Scene 1. Galactic reaction news spread fast. Jace wasn't returning to the Academy. He had entered Dark Ring 7, the Forbidden Zone. Alien governments panicked. Why would Earth send one man there? Zern, disgraced and now removed from command, whispered, "They didn't send a man. They sent their new army." Scene 2. Earth's secret plan in a hidden base deep beneath. Mars, Earth's top commanders, watched Jace through a live feed. Admiral Thorne leaned forward. "He found it," she said. The man beside her nodded. "The Arcmind. It's still functional," Third General asked. "Will he survive it?" The Admiral smiled. "He won't just survive. He'll take control." Scene 3. The Arcmind awakens deep inside the ancient machine. Lights pulsed on. Walls shifted. Floors moved. Entire planets once obeyed the Arcmind's voice. Now it heard. Jace is a voice calm, confident, human. The Arcmind spoke for the first time in a million years. "You are not of the Builders. You are not of the Destroyers." "What are you?" Jace replied. "I'm human, and I'm here to take command." Scene 4. Alien fleet interferes in nearby alien empire. The Coral Dominion launched ships toward Dark Ring 7. Their orders were clear. Stop the human. Destroy the Arcmind before it activates. But when they arrived, the Arcmind was already awake, and the stars began to move. One of their captains screamed, "What are those? Are those moons?" "No, they're weapons." Hundreds of ancient battle spheres rose from the dark surrounding the fleet. Then silence, and one message came across all channels. "Human is in command now. Leave or be unmade." Scene 5. Jace's evolution. Jace stood at the center of the Arcmind. Core, connected by a neural interface. Memories not his own flowed into him. He saw how the Builders once ruled galaxies. He saw how they fell. He saw the same mistake in the current galaxy. Pride, corruption, weak leadership. He clenched his fists. "I'm not here to repeat history," he whispered. "I'm here to rewrite it." Scene 6. New orders back on Earth. Alarms lit up. One sentence had just been transmitted from Jace, now fully linked with Arcmind systems. Protocol. Shift. Humanity is no longer joining the galaxy. We are leading it. Scene 7. Twist ending somewhere in a secret chamber of the galactic. Council ancient leaders met in panic. One spoke, shaking. "We tried to test them, break them, hide the truth from them." Another said, "We wanted Earth to stay behind. Now they stand above us. The eldest leaned forward. Then prepare. The last weapon, the one even the Archmind can't face. What is it? He whispered, another human. Jace stood on the surface of a dead moon. The stars turning above him like slow fire. Behind him, the Archmind's battle spheres floated in silence, waiting for his command, but Jace wasn't looking at them. He was staring at a giant door carved into the moon's rock. No lights, no signal, just one message, burned into the stone in ancient Earth language. He came before you. We couldn't stop him. Can you? Jace blinked. Who came before me? The door opened by itself. Inside was darkness, and something moved in it. Main story scene. 1. The moon Prasanjus walked into the ancient chamber, his war beast following close. The Archmind's voice echoed in his head. Caution. This structure predates even my creators. Warning, unknown energy detected. The chamber had no air, but it had bones, human bones. Lots of them, and on one wall. He saw it, a video log still playing after thousands of years. Scene 2, the forgotten human, the recording, showed a human face. Older, scarred, eyes full of pain. He looked directly at the camera. If you're seeing this, then Earth has risen again. Good. Maybe you can do better than I did. They sent me first. I wasn't a trainee. I was a weapon. I thought I was alone. I was wrong. The galaxy didn't fear humans because of what we are. They feared us because of what we leave behind. The video glitched, and then one final message played. And if I'm still alive, tell Earth to run. Scene 3. The shadow wakes behind Jace. The wall cracked. Black mist poured out. A shape walked forward, human-shaped, but wrong. Long arms, glowing red eyes, no voice. Just breath, the Archmind said, confirmed. Prototype human unit. Unauthorized. Dead, but moving. Jace pulled his plasma blade. The creature moved fast. Too fast. Scene 4. Earth reacts back on Mars. Earth's command base received a signal. Jace engaged with anomaly. Possible lost subject. Codename, Phantom. General Thorne froze. I thought he was dead. Another general replied. He was. We buried the Phantom project decades ago, she whispered. Then why is it moving? Scene 5. Jace versus Phantom. The fight was brutal. The creature, Phantom, moved like liquid shadow. It hit harder than gravity. It didn't bleed. Every time Jace landed a strike, it reformed. His war beast tried to tackle it and got thrown. Across the chamber, Jace fell to one knee. The creature leaned close, and in a whisper that didn't come from its mouth, it said, You're. Just a repeat, I was the original. Jace smiled even in pain. Then why are you locked in a cave? Scene 6. Unlocking something worse to Jace. Overloaded the chamber with energy from the Archmind. The creature burned, screamed, and vanished into black. Missed again. But the Archmind gave a chilling update. The Phantom escaped through a quantum hole. Destination, unknown. Warning, it is seeking other buried ones. Jace stood in silence. He had just learned the truth. He wasn't the first. Human made for war, and he wasn't the last. Scene 7. Galactic panic messages echoed across alien systems. Human weapon has awakened something old? Earth lied. They've sent prototypes before. If more of them exist, we are already too late. The Galactic Council held an emergency vote. Do we attack Earth now, or beg them for protection? Earth's secret ship in deep orbit near Jupiter. Something activated. A ship bigger than any station. Hidden under the gas clouds, its lights turned on. Its message was simple. Phantom tracking online. Target locked. Human priority, Jace Ward. The galaxy thought he was the first, but Earth doesn't send its firsts. It sends its best. The hidden ship under Jupiter had moved, slowly, quietly now. It hovered above Saturn's rings, fully active inside. No crew. Only one room lit. A cryopod chamber. And inside it, a figure. A human, eyes closed. Skin pale, muscles like steel. carved into the glass of his pod. One name, Raven Unit. Do not awaken, but the pod was blinking. It had received a signal from the one who escaped, Phantom. From the one now fighting the galaxy, Jace. The Raven's eyes opened. The ship whispered, "All units active. Earth cannot contain them now. Main STRY. Scene 1. Jace watches the stars burn from orbit. Jace stood on his command platform, one of the Archmind's ancient battle. Moons had just fired, wiping out an entire pirate empire that tried to ambush. His warbeast stood beside him, but Jace's eyes weren't on victory. They were on a blinking alert. Phantom detected, not alone. Raven has awakened. It's Scene 2. Earth confesses the truth in Earth's hidden archives. General Thorne unlocked the last black file. It showed 12 humans, each created in secret, each trained beyond limits, each called by a codename Raven, Phantom, Widow, Bastion. Jace was not among them. He wasn't a secret weapon. He was built to stop them, the general whispered. It was the failsafe. Scene 3. The Raven attacks Raven. His ship moved without lights. Without warning, it appeared in the skies above the alien. World Velmora, a peaceful place, full of scholars. Raven didn't speak. He simply dropped. One man, one strike. An entire city. Flattened, no one knew why, except one message left in smoke. They woke the first. Now we all wake. Scene 4. The Council surrenders. The Galactic Council called Earth begged, "We surrender. Name your terms." But Earth refused. Admiral Thorne looked them in the eye. "You broke our people. You tested our limits. Now face what you created." She sent one order. Jace, end this, even if they were ours. Scene 5. Jace versus Raven begins. Jace landed on Garen 4, where Raven's signal had moved next. Ash covered the ground. Jace walked alone through the smoke. Then, Raven stepped out of the shadows. Cold eyes Tommed. "Raven, you think you're special?" "Jace, you're just a cleaner, a janitor for Earth's mess." "Jace, maybe, but I know what I'm fighting for." The two charged. Scene 6. The fight, the battle shattered the mountain. Raven moved like lightning, enhanced, precise. Jace bled. But he adapted. He pushed back, not with rage, but with purpose. He wasn't made to destroy. He was made to protect. At the final moment, he pinned Raven beneath a broken war satellite. "You don't have to keep fighting," Jace said. "I do," Raven replied, "because when they wake the rest, you'll be the one who has to kill them all." Then Raven vanished into dust. Scene 7. Final warning back on Earth. A silent alarm triggered. CRYO-pods buried under old lunar bases began blinking, not just 1.10. All with names, all with one warning. In case of Jace failure, activate final. Defense. Widow. Jace stood alone on the bridge of the Archmind, stars shining ahead. He asked one quiet question. What did Earth really build me for? The Archmind paused, then answered, not to win, not to lead, but to choose who survives.